Hello, everyone, and welcome to this bonus training. I'm excited you're here today because today we're diving into something truly cutting edge and incredibly helpful, AI copywriting power-up. This is how you're going to write your website content faster and smarter. Let's be honest, writing all the copy for your website can sometimes feel like a daunting task. Am I right? It takes time, energy, and creativity. But what if I told you there's a way to streamline that process significantly, saving precious time and still ensuring your authentic, God-given brand voice shines through? Well, that's exactly what we're going to learn today. Our goal in this lesson is to equip you with the knowledge and skills to leverage artificial intelligence ethically and effectively as a powerful partner in your copywriting efforts. We'll explore how to use it to generate draft content quickly while making sure you remain in the driver's seat, guiding the output to perfectly match your brand and message. Now, this ties in beautifully with our recent training on website content planning. In that lesson, we did the crucial strategic work of figuring out what content we need for each page, mapping out the messages, the calls to action, thus the overall flow. Today, we're taking the next step and exploring how we can efficiently draft that content using some amazing technology. We'll be talking about AI chat tools. Think of platforms like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and others. These are becoming incredibly sophisticated, and when used correctly, these tools can be fantastic assistants for brainstorming, drafting, and refining copy. And to make sure our AI-assisted copy is strategically sound and hits all the right notes for conversion, we'll be using our trusted ultimate website layout and copy guide as our structural blueprint throughout the process. This guide tells us what sections work. AI will help us draft the content for those sections. To make this super practical, we're going to work through a real-world example together. And throughout this training, we'll pretend we're crafting homepage copy for a fictional Christian health coach whose main offer is personalized one-on-one coaching. This will help you see exactly the steps to apply in action. One last important point before we dive into the how-to, let's manage our expectations around AI. It's an incredible tool, but it's just that, a tool. Think of it as a highly skilled, very fast partner or assistant, but not a replacement for your unique insight, voice, and expertise. AI can generate drafts, suggest ideas, and follow instructions, but you are the visionary. You hold the brand's heart. It's absolutely essential that we, as faith-driven entrepreneurs, maintain human oversight. We need to guide the AI, review its output critically, edit it, and infuse it with our authentic personality and God-given message. We're aiming for partnership, not replacement. Okay, with the foundation laid, are you ready to unlock the power of AI for your copywriting? Let's get started. All right, let's dive into the practical how-to. The very first step, and arguably most crucial step when using AI for specific tasks like copywriting, is what I call programming your assistant. Think about it. If you were hiring a human copywriter, you wouldn't just say, write my website copy and walk away, right? Of course not. You'd give them the background on your brand, tell them who you are, tell them who your ideal client is, explain your voice, and clarify the goal for each piece of content. We need to do the same thing with AI. By giving AI clear context, instructions, and defining its role right at the beginning of your conversation or chat thread, you dramatically increase the quality and relevance of the content it generates for you. A little setup goes a long way. So how do we do this effectively? We start with a powerful initial prompt that tells AI exactly what role we need it to play. This is sometimes called the act as hack. Here's the prompt I recommend you use to kick off a new chat thread specifically for your website copywriting. Let's break down why this works so well. Act as an expert copywriter for faith-based entrepreneurs. This immediately sets the role and specialization, telling the AI the perspective and style it should adopt. Next, I will upload my brand guidelines or provide key points. This part tells the AI to expect crucial context about your specific brand. Next, let's look at this section. I will identify which page and provide the overall goal. This part of the prompt sets the scope for the specific task within the chat. Help me craft the copy, focusing on one section at a time. This part of the prompt establishes an iterative process, breaking the task into manageable chunks, which literally yields better results than asking for an entire page at once. So you'll start a brand new chat in your AI tool and use this prompt as your very first message. After you send that initial prompt, the AI will likely respond, confirming it understands. Now you need to follow through on providing your brand information. So how do we provide? Some AI tools have a file upload feature where you could potentially upload your brand guidelines PDF directly. In Gemini, you'll find that here in the prompt section, there's a plus sign, and you'll choose your brand guidelines file. If not, the best approach is to copy and paste the most essential elements from your guidelines into the chat. Here's what to include. Focus on the core elements that define your brand's communication, your mission or why, a clear description of your ideal client, of course, include their struggles and aspirations. Keywords describing your brand voice and tone, such as empowering, approachable, faith-rooted, confident, and include your core brand values. For example, input for our Christian health coach, you might paste something like this. Busy Christian women, often moms ages 30 through 55, who feel stressed, tired, and disconnected from their health goals. They deeply desire holistic wellness, integrating mind, body, and spirit, but they struggle to find practical approaches that truly align with their faith and fit their demanding lives. They often feel guilty about self-care. They value community, grace over perfection, and practical scripture-informed wisdom. Let's be sure we identify this as our ideal client before we hit enter and submit it. Next, we're going to give it our brand voice. Our brand voice is empathetic, encouraging, knowledgeable, hopeful, gentle, faith-centered, practical, relatable, and uplifting. Now we can submit that section. Next, let's submit our values. Our values for this example are faith integration, stewardship of health and body, grace over perfection, holistic wellness, mind, body, and spirit, empowerment, sustainable habits, and community. Now we'll submit that. Now we want to provide our mission. Our mission is to empower Christian women to honor their bodies as temples through faith-centered, sustainable health habits, finding energy and peace to live out their God-given purpose. So let's submit that. Have we given AI the coach name? I don't believe we have. So let's submit our coach's name, Sarah Miller. And next, we want to submit our program name. Our program name is Renewed Purpose Wellness Coaching. Providing all of this content up front is key. Finally, before you start asking for copy for specific sections, clearly state the overall goal for the specific page that you're working on in this session. As you can see, AI has, in fact, asked a few follow-up questions, such as what's the specific page of your website that we're crafting for today, and what is the primary goal that you want this page to achieve? So now we need to provide an example of what we would tell AI. Here's an example goal for you to give AI. Okay, the page we're crafting today is the homepage. The primary goal for this homepage copy is to deeply resonate with busy Christian women seeking faith-centered wellness guidance and clearly communicate the value of my one-on-one coaching program, Renewed Purpose Wellness Coaching, build trust and connection, and strongly encourage them to take the next step by booking a complimentary clarity or discovery call. This ensures that AI understands the objective for all the copy pieces it's about to help you draft. And just like that, with those setup steps complete, your AI assistant is programmed and ready to start helping you draft compelling, brand-aligned copy. Now let's see how we connect this with our ultimate website copy guide. Okay, so we've programmed our AI assistant. It understands its role, it knows about our brand, and it knows the overall goal for our homepage. Fantastic, right? Now, before we start asking it to write specific things, we need our roadmap. We need to know what key pieces of copy are essential for a high-converting homepage, and that's where our invaluable ultimate website layout and copy guide comes into play. I hope you have your copy handy, whether it's printed out or open digitally. This guide is our strategic blueprint. It outlines the essential sections that take your website visitor on a journey, building connection, demonstrating value, and guiding them towards taking action. So let's quickly review the key sections the guide recommends for a compelling homepage. These are the sections we'll be prompting our AI assistant to help us draft copy for, one by one, in our Christian health coach example. According to the guide, a strong homepage typically includes the header. So let's look at that. The header. This is prime real estate. Its goal is to immediately tell visitors what you do and why they should care. It includes that critical headline, subheading, and the initial call to action. Reference the guide and section 1, which you can find on page 3. Next, the cost of inaction. Right below the main header area, the guide suggests painting a picture of what happens if someone doesn't take action, addressing their pain points empathetically. Here you want to reference the guide, section 2, which you can find on page 4. Next is value proposition. Here's where we clearly communicate the value and benefits of our offer, often by stacking 3 transformative benefits. Be sure to reference the guide, section 3, on page 5. Number 4, figure of authority. This section is all about building trust. The goal is to display your authority and empathy through things like testimonials, logos, maybe some key numbers, and a statement showing that you understand their struggles. Be sure to reference the guide, section 4, on page 6. Number 5, let's streamline the purchase process. We need to make it easy for people to say yes. The goal here is to clearly show the simple steps involved in working with you or buying your offer. So you can reference the guide, section 5, on page 7. And number 6, the guide also includes space for a more detailed paragraph, which is great for SEO and providing more context if needed. You'll find this in section 6 of your guide on page 8. And finally, number 7, you want to briefly mention your lead magnet. This is often a section offering a valuable free resource like a checklist or a guide in exchange for an email address. In your guide, this is section 7 on page 9. For our training today, we're going to focus primarily on using AI to draft copy for those core sections 1 through 5, as they form the critical persuasive flow of the home page. And now that we have our map from the Ultimate Guide, we're ready to start prompting our AI assistant to write the copy for our Christian Health Coaches homepage, section by section. So let's move on to the exciting part, putting AI to work. All right, this is where the magic starts to happen. We've programmed our AI assistant with the brand guidelines and the specific goal for our Christian Health Coaches homepage. We also have our roadmap, the key sections identified from the Ultimate Website Layout and Copy Guide. Now, we're going to work through those key homepage sections one by one, prompting the AI to help us draft the copy. Remember, this is an iterative process. We prompt, we review, then we refine, and we always infuse our own voice and expertise. So let's begin. First, let's craft the header section. This is where we want to state the goal, referencing the guide. First up is the crucial header section. As the Ultimate Guide reminds us, the goal here is to immediately tell visitors what our coach does and why they should care. This includes the headline, subheading, and a clear call to action. So let's ask our AI assistant for some headline options. I'll type that into the chat now. Okay, let's see what it gave us. Here are 3 attention-grabbing headline options for your homepage header, focusing on the benefits of faith-centered wellness, peace, and renewed energy for busy Christian women. Okay, let's see what they look like. First, overwhelmed and over it? Find faith-fueled energy and peace for your busy life. This headline immediately acknowledges her pain point and offers the desired outcomes rooted in faith. Let's look at the next one. Busy Christian women, reclaim your wellness, discover God-honoring energy and lasting peace. This speaks directly to her identity and desire for sustainable well-being aligned with her faith. The next one says, from stress to spirit-led, embrace the faith-centered wellness for renewed energy and calmness. This highlights the transformation she desires and connects it to her spiritual life. These are interesting starting points. Option 2 feels the strongest. So let's imagine our coach likes that option, but maybe wants a slightly warmer. We could then ask AI to please make option 2 slightly warmer and more inviting. Okay. Feeling overwhelmed, dear sister? Discover God-honoring energy and lasting peace for your full life. I'm not loving dear sister or full life. Neither one of these resonate with the client. Okay. Since this response doesn't resonate well with me, I'm going to show you how I would personally proceed. Since these don't resonate well, I'm going to do another follow-up. Let's see what happens here. Feeling overwhelmed, friend? Discover God-honoring energy and lasting peace for your balanced life. We're going to go ahead for now and proceed, assuming we've chosen this headline. It's very close to something that would work. I'm going to copy this over. And the only thing I'm going to edit out of that is the word your in front of balanced life. I'm going to say for a balanced life. So now we need a subheading to support that headline. This is how I would prompt AI. I'm going to say, great. Now draft a supportive subheading for the headline. I pasted it in. And the subheading should briefly clarify that the offer is one-on-one coaching and mention it's designed for busy Christian women seeking holistic wellness. Let's submit that. Great. AI has generated a few subheading options that clarify the what and the who right away. So let's just preview these and see which headline flows well with the headline. Again, feeling overwhelmed, friend? Discover God-honoring energy and lasting peace for a balanced life. Subheading: one-on-one coaching designed for busy Christian women like you, ready to embrace holistic well-being in mind, body, and spirit. I like that one. Also, you have the option to use your personal path to faith-centered wellness starts here. One-on-one coaching to bring balance and vibrant health to your demanding life as a Christian woman. Third option, unlock lasting energy and inner peace throughout dedicated one-on-one coaching created specifically for Christian women seeking a holistic approach to health. I really like that one. So we're going to choose option 3 as our subheading. I'm just collecting these in another document. This is something that you might do as you go. Okay, so finally, the header needs a call to action button, and we need to let it know which option we chose. Now that we've reviewed this to ensure it flows well with the headline, we want to let AI know which subheading we've chosen. And finally, the header needs a call to action button. So let's ask for that button text and share which subheading we've chosen. Great. I chose unlock lasting energy and inner peace, And next, we're going to ask you to suggest, please suggest 2 to 3 compelling call to action button text for the header. The goal is to encourage visitors to book a complimentary clarity. We're going to call this a clarity or discovery call. Book your free clarity call is an option. Discover your renewed purpose, schedule a free call. That's very long. And ready for more peace and energy, let's chat. It's free. That's very long. So the best one that aligns with the overall tone and language that we would use to invite someone to connect is number 1. So we're going to choose it as the CTA. Book your free clarity call. Okay. This seems clear and benefit driven, so we're going to go with that. So just like that, using a few targeted prompts, we've drafted the core elements of our header, fulfilling the guide's goal of quickly conveying what the coach offers and why the visitor should care. Moving down the page, the ultimate guide advises addressing the cost of inaction. The goal here is to paint an empathetic picture of what life might continue to look like if the visitor doesn't seek a solution. Let's prompt AI for that. Moving back over to AI, let's prompt AI with that example. Okay, read this carefully. Friend, constantly pouring out without replenishing can leave you feeling drained, not just physically, but also in your spirit. That nagging guilt of not prioritizing your well-being might create a distance between you and the vibrant, purposeful life God intends for you, making it harder to fully embrace His calling amidst the demands of your day. Does it sound genuinely empathetic? And does it accurately reflect the ideal client's pain points that we defined earlier? We might need to tweak wording slightly to ensure it resonates perfectly, but the AI gives us a solid draft. This section directly addresses the guide's goal of highlighting the pain or negative consequences, motivating the visitor to seek the solution. The last thing that I would do with this response is break it up into a bulleted layout so that it is mobile friendly first. My prompt would be, Great. So now we've converted a long paragraph into a scannable, mobile-first friendly design. So let's grab that and save it for our website homepage copy. Next, the guide tells us to clearly communicate the value proposition. We want to stack the key benefits. So let's ask AI to list the benefits based on our fictional program. Perfect. This clearly lays out the positive outcomes. We'd format this nicely on the page, maybe with icons. So I'm going to grab this and add it to my page copy. And this fulfills the guide's objective of clearly showcasing the value offered. Building trust is crucial. So the next section, according to the guide, is the figure of authority. The goal here is to display authority and empathy. So let's start with the empathy piece. Moving back over to AI, we'll add a new prompt. This prompt will help the visitor feel seen and understood. So here are a couple of short empathy statements to choose from for our figure of authority section. First, we have, I understand the beautiful yet demanding balancing act you navigate daily as a Christian woman, often feeling pulled in countless directions while longing for deeper well-being rooted in your faith. Or, it's easy to feel overwhelmed when you're pouring into your faith, family, and responsibilities, all while desiring to honor God with your health. I see you and I'm here to help. Which of those resonates with you more? For me, as a designer, I'm looking for short and concise that also completely stays on brand. So I'm going to choose option number 2. I'm going to paste that into my homepage copy. Now let's ask for the placeholders for the proof of elements. The next prompt we'll use will ask for that. Okay, great. AI has given us back 2 options again. I love the layout of option 1 because it's short. It's also bulleted, so that's helpful. However, if you want to provide a quick introduction to yourself, option 2 is another great way to introduce yourself. So what we're going to do is choose option 2. And then with this section, we can design this as a brief introduction section to who you are as a coach. We can briefly introduce the coach and use this as an introduction section while simultaneously fulfilling the need of this figure of authority. So we'll use a quick empathy statement, and then we'll say, my name is Sarah Miller, and as a fellow Christian woman, I've personally navigated the challenges of prioritizing well-being amidst a busy life. It's why I'm so passionate about helping others, and through renewed purpose wellness coaching, I've seen incredible transformations. And then we can include a client testimonial and their logo or their personal photo. Then we can close by saying, you don't have to do this alone. We can link to the About page or include a brief concluding sentence. Okay, I love that. We're not even going to look at section number 3 because we've already chosen section number 2. Okay, so that's great. And this reminds us exactly what kind of proof elements we need to gather to insert here later. So this section combines empathy and authority elements as recommended by the guide to build that vital trust. We need to make it crystal clear how easy it is to get started. So the guide calls this streamline the purchase process. So let's ask AI to outline the next steps. Here's our prompt. Okay, so that's great. AI has given us 3 simple and clear action-oriented steps for a potential client to take in order to begin their one-on-one coaching with us and what it would look like. So they'll schedule a complimentary discovery call. Then together we will collaborate. the faith-fueled action plan, and then they can embrace their empowering coaching journey. Love it. Let's paste that into our homepage copy. This directly meets the guide's goal of showing how simple the process is. Can you just look at that? In a relatively short time, by prompting our programmed AI assistant section by section using the ultimate guide as our structure, we've generated a solid draft for the most critical parts of our Christian health coach's homepage. Remember, this is a draft. We still need to review, edit, and inject our unique voice, but AI has done the heavy lifting of getting us started. Okay, wasn't that amazing to see how we could generate those copy drafts section by section? Now, while AI is incredibly powerful, sometimes getting the best results requires us to be strategic in how we interact with it. Just like communicating effectively with a human assistant, there are best practices for communicating with your AI assistant. So following these next tips will help you get clearer, more focused responses, saving you time, refining, reduce frustration, and ultimately keep you in control of the final message. Think of these as your power user secrets. So here are the key tips I want you to keep in mind whenever you're prompting AI for copywriting or other tasks. First, start with a clear goal. Know the specific purpose for the particular prompt or part of the conversation. Are you brainstorming headlines, drafting body copy, refining a specific sentence, having a clear goal that keeps AI focused? Or are you refining a specific sentence? Having a clear goal helps keep AI focused. Second, use specific targeted questions. Instead of super open-ended questions like, tell me about my homepage, ask for specific things like draft 3 headline options focusing on X benefit for Y audience. This guides AI much more effectively. Third, keep prompts concise. Avoid packing too much information or too many requests into a single prompt. Break down complex tasks into smaller, focused prompts. Shorter prompts often yield better and more relevant results. Fourth, use clear language. Write simply and clearly. Avoid jargon, slang, or ambiguous phrasing that AI might misinterpret. Be direct in your instructions. Fifth, use transitions if needed. If you're shifting topics within the same chat thread, use simple transitional phrases like, okay, now let's focus on the value proposition. This will help AI follow along smoothly. Sixth, know capabilities and limitations. Remember, AI is constantly learning, but it doesn't know things in the human sense, and it does have limitations. Avoid asking it for things beyond its capabilities, like predicting the future or accessing real-time private data. Be prepared to adjust if a prompt isn't working. Seventh, test and debug. Reset. If AI starts giving strange or unhelpful responses, don't be afraid to reset the thread and start fresh with your initial programming prompt. Sometimes conversations just get confused. Test your prompts to see what works best. And finally, number 8, use the act as hack. As we did in our setup, explicitly tell AI what the role to act as, like expert copywriter, provides powerful direction and will significantly improve the quality of its output for that specific task. Okay, finally, always remember that working with AI is often an iterative process. It's a conversation. You prompt, review the output, refine your next prompt based on the results, and continue that cycle until you get the draft you need. Don't expect perfection on the first try. Expect to collaborate and refine. So keep these tips in your back pocket. They'll make your experience working with AI much smoother and more productive. Are you ready to wrap things up? Because that brings us to the end of our AI copywriting power-up session. So let's quickly recap the powerful workflow we covered today. We learned how to program our AI assistant by giving it clear context about our brand and goals using that initial act as prompt. We saw how to use our ultimate website layout and copy guide as the strategic blueprint to identify the essential sections for key pages like our homepage. We practiced prompting AI section by section to generate targeted copy drafts. And finally, we covered essential tips to refine AI's output and maintain clarity and focus. You now have a repeatable process to tackle website copywriting much more efficiently. So what's next for you after this bonus training? Your mission, should you choose to accept it, and I really hope you do, is to take this process and apply it. Think about the website pages you need to work on most right now. Maybe it's your homepage, or perhaps your about page, or a specific services page. First, open up your AI chat tool. Second, start a new thread using the programming prompt that we discussed. Third, feed it your brand guidelines and the specific goal for that page. Fourth, use your ultimate website layout and copy guide to map out the key sections needed for that page. And fifth, start prompting AI section by section using the techniques and tips we've covered today. Most importantly, review, edit, and infuse AI drafts with your unique voice, stories, and expertise. If you'll use these bonus hacks, you'll make significant progress on crafting compelling copy that truly reflects your brand and connects with your ideal clients. I truly believe that leveraging tools like AI wisely is a fantastic way to be good stewards of the time and energy God has given us. By streamlining tasks like drafting copy, you free up more space to focus on serving your clients, developing your offers, and fulfilling the unique purpose He has called you to. Remember, AI is your assistant, your partner. You're the visionary, the heart behind the brand. Use this tool powerfully, ethically, and always let your authentic God-given message shine brightly. I know this might bring up questions as you start applying it to yourself. So beyond this session, please bring your questions, your wins, and even your challenges into the Divine Purpose Academy Facebook group. Share prompts that worked well for you, ask for feedback if you get stuck, and let's continue learning and growing in our community together. That's what we're here for. Thank you so much for joining me for this bonus training. I'm so excited to see how you use these AI hacks to get your powerful message out into the world.